guys, welcome back to Home Built, and this week we have to pull the engine back out of the Alfarrari. All right, welcome back, guys. And if you were watching last week, you'll see that I've been racing, trying to get the Alfarrari ready for the road. And that meant talking to the engineer and fixing a few of the bits and pieces that I missed. But overall, that is going quite well. If you actually want to see the Alfarrari in person and not just see it, but hear it ripping it up, you should come and see me at the Canberra Festival of Speed event, which is on the 2nd and 3rd of March at Thoroughbred Park in Canberra. So this is not just a car show. It's actually, think Goodwood Festival of Speed, but in Canberra. It's there's going to be a bunch of static displays and cars to see and interactive experiences. There's a whole bunch going on. But there is also a purpose-built exhibition circuit where the cars are going to be tearing it up, including me tearing it up in the Alfarrari. It's got a big long straight. You'll really be able to get to hear these things screaming. There is actually going to be F1 cars there doing displays, Formula 5000, Cam Hill in his current 2024 Stone Brothers V8 supercar. There's a couple of hundred different exotic through to rare and historical cars. There's a whole range of stuff for every type of car enthusiast. You should definitely come down, come and say hi and see me down there. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to getting the Alfarrari out. It's probably going to be the first time I really get to open it up and actually do more than just move it around the shop, because I don't know whether it's going to be registered by then, but it'll definitely be running and working by then, I hope. So come down and see me 2nd and 3rd of March. It's going to be an awesome event. The Saturday night actually goes till 10 p.m. So there's going to be cars ripping around under lights. There's different events on the Saturday to the Sunday. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. As I said, come down and see us. Check it out. Canberra Festival Speed. I'll put a link in the description so you can sort of go and see what it's all about. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to ripping around in the Alfarrari. It's going to be great. So anyway, moving on to what we were doing last week, and I mentioned that I was having overheating issues, and that is what I absolutely love about this platform of YouTube, is that there were a ton of really good suggestions. There were all sorts of suggestions from the potential that the water pump is moving too fast and the water's flowing through the radiator too quickly to cool it down. There were lots of suggestions about venting the bonnet and things like that. One thing that often gets brought up, and lots of people, even I know drift cars and stuff used to do this all the time, is have the back of the bonnet lifted slightly to, in theory, to let air out. But that is actually a high pressure zone here. Basically, if you think about the way the air comes over the bonnet, it comes in and hits the windscreen. So there's this big high pressure area here, and it would actually force air back the other way into the bonnet from the back. So that is not actually a good way of venting air out of the engine bay. But the telltale of this issue is that it works fine on the dyno with the big dyno fan. So at speed, it's obviously not going to be an issue. It was just at idle, which meant it was an airflow problem. After all of these suggestions, I was looking into being able to get bigger, better flowing fans. The fans I've got in here are apparently rated to flow about 590 CFM, and I have two 9-inch fans. I looked and I could get a, I believe a 790 9-inch fan, and I think I could possibly fit a 10-inch, one 9-inch and one 10-inch fan in that space, and I could get a 10-inch that would flow 950 CFM. So overall, I could increase the CFM by at least 50%. And I was all ready to do that, and then one comment came through that one of you guys went back and watched the video when I put the radiator fan shroud in and noticed something that I haven't noticed. The fans that I have in this can be set up to push or pull, so either be on the front of the radiator or on the back of the radiator. The fans that I have fitted in the car are actually set up to be push fans. So, all right, a quick explanation of what is currently happening with the fan and why it's not working properly. If you imagine this is the front of the car, airflow is coming this way through my radiator, so this is a side-on view, and that's the center core of the fan, and sort of blades top and bottom, and that's the side profile of the fan of a blade you're looking at end on. And you can see it's got a curve, and the issue is that it is spinning in the correct direction so that it will sort of catch the air behind it and pull the air through, but it's doing it very inefficiently because the fan is set up to be on the other side of the radiator. What I need to do is I need to pull the blades off, pull the whole thing off, flip it around so that then the blades are going like this. And you can just imagine this acts like a scoop, so the air comes in and gets sort of caught by the fan and pushed out the back. And that is the way it's supposed to be, and that is why it hasn't been working. The first thing I'm going to do is get in there and remove those fans and turn them around the other way, and I think I will solve my problem. Yes! I'm glad it's such a simple problem. Yep, they're round the wrong way. So if you have a look, it even says on the blades, face the rear of the vehicle. And if you can see how when it's spinning, it was spinning like in this direction. So it is scooping air, but it's not doing it very efficiently at all. So I think that's my main issue. And it's also why that rubber flap on the shroud was fluttering. It's because it was creating turbulent air. It wasn't really being very efficient. Whereas I think if I replace these, I think those rubber flaps should suck closed the way they're supposed to. And yeah, and we'll get the airflow through the engine. And I hope this will solve my problems. Ah, that's better. Flaps suck closed. That is what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that feels much stronger than it was. All right, fans are doing what they're supposed to. They're sucking the rubber flaps closed. So it feels so much stronger. I have a good feeling that this is going to solve my issue. I can get stronger fans if need be, but we'll just see how this goes as it is. All right, so to get the dash working, one of the things I need to sort out is the speed sensor. So I made this little bracket up a while ago, so you can see the little teeth that move past my little cherry bomb sensor from Raceworks. And basically, I made this mount that sits on it, but it's a little bit, it's a little bit flimsy. I mean, it's pretty solid, but I just want to put a couple of reinforcing ribs on that and paint it so I can install it for good. That is going to do the job quite nicely. All right, so now the fan's in and it's in the correct orientation. I've got the car up just slightly off the ground. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to be checking some of the gauges now. So I'm going to be checking that the tacho works, that the speedo works, and that we actually have some of these systems functioning properly. And also let's see if it actually can get it up to temperature, but then when the fans kick on, it should cool it back down again rather than the temperature just keeping on to climbing. So let's see how that goes. So fingers crossed that's cooling issue sorted, but we'll soon see. tacho works. Let's see if the speedo works. That can't be accurate. All right, the digital readout works, but in first gear at 2000 RPM, it's reading 90 kilometers an hour in first gear. So the calibration is out, but the digital readout is working, and I am getting a figure. So I just need to calibrate that to what's actually happening. Still really loud. I still have to play around with the water temp and the fuel level gauges. They're not working, and the needle, for some reason, I think I might have this speedo too tight and it's not working on the gauge, but the tacho is working and is doing what it's supposed to do, so that's all good. Why is my idle speed so much higher than my idle target? I don't understand. The engine speed is 2200, but the idle target is 950. It's not idling at 950. All right, fans just turned on. Aha! We went back a degree. Yes, we're going backwards. All right, initial test with the bonnet open. The fans are cooling the engine, which it didn't before. It wasn't working. I now need to try and reset the fans to come on earlier. Currently I have them on at 85 degrees. I think I want to set that down to 80 degrees. So I'm just going to let it go through its cooling procedure. It's running the fans when the engine's off. That's part of the controller. And I'm going to set that down to 80 degrees and we'll see how that goes. Well, with the bonnet closed, the fans are working correctly now, but we are actually gaining temperature still. So there's not enough air getting out. That's an issue. I've just cracked the bonnet, so just by lifting it a little bit, we'll give it a couple of minutes and just see if it's going to keep going up. We're still going up. We are idling high, but still, that's not good enough. So we potentially need to get more heat out of the engine bay somehow. All right, switching her off. Well, that is extremely disappointing. The fact that it's still overheating with the bonnet closed. With the bonnet open, it lets enough heat out. With it closed, it doesn't. I know there's lots of comments about not having enough spaces for the air to get out from the engine bay, but modern cars have underfloor panels and panels everywhere, and everything's like tighter than this and more blocked in. This is not actually sealed all the way around. It actually, there's actually gaps all the way around the bonnet. There's nothing that actually seals. So there is space for the heat to get out. For the time being, yeah, I'm not sure. I can go bigger fans, and I think that might be worth trying. I can get more airflow and just force it out underneath. As far as gaps go, I have lots of people who are saying I should put louvers in the bonnet. I don't really like louvers in the bonnet. I don't particularly want louvers in the bonnet. If I have to, I will. So there's more testing to come. There's also the issue of the fact that it is idling at 2000 RPM or 2200 RPM when the idle target is 950. I can see in the logs. It shows what it's currently idling, and it shows the idle target. And the idle target is there. The throttle is not holding open. I can see the throttle position and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure why it's idling so high. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what my options are besides stronger fans and just suck more air through and just force it out through the gaps that it already has. Either way, I think we need to let this cool down a little bit and then start getting this engine out of the car so that we can do some of the modifications that we need to do. So I just pulled the joiner to the air filter and I can see that the oil is building up in there. So yeah, the oil is coming back through the breather, which means my dry sump tank is probably too full. So it's getting too much oil coming back into the system, which is not ideal. So I'm going to hopefully just be able to run that dry sump tank a little bit lower, and it should hopefully stop all this oil vapor and excess oil coming back through the system and coming back into the throttle bodies. All right, so I went underneath. I've done an extensive list of the things that I need to change, and there is a fair bit of structural work that I'm going to do while I get underneath there. So now it's the more difficult stuff, which is remove the gearbox, and then we can get the engine out, and we are ready to roll. That is a very sad looking engine bay. You can see where all the dust from where I've been die grinding and clearancing and stuff like that in here. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. All right, so the engine is out. That is a yeah, very sad, messy looking engine bay. But that's the easy part. I can fix that. I can tidy that up again, and like I said, there's lots of modifying I've got to do. There's lots of clearancing I've got to do, and make sure that when I put that engine back in, it can stay in, and it's got plenty of room for everything that needs to be in there. So that is a job for next week. On the cooling issue, the next thing I'm going to try is I'm going to remove the bonnet window completely and see if that will actually let enough air out to cool it. So once everything's back in again, I'm going to get myself a bigger fan. I think I'm going to go for a large single fan and see if I can make that fit. It can just blow basically double the airflow of what the current one does. So that should hopefully help a lot. I'm just not sure whether it's going to fit, but I'll make it fit. That with the bonnet window completely removed, and then hopefully I can add it back and just add some slots in it to let some air out. I didn't want it open like that, but I think that's the only way it's going to work, is have maybe a couple of large slots in the front. But we'll deal with that when the engine is back in the car. So I think that means it's time for Fun Facts with Mrs. Jeff.
Hey guys, in 2018, Ferrari at the Geneva Motor Show released the 488 Pista. The Pista is a more track-oriented road-going variant of the 488, influenced by the 488 Challenge and the 488 GTE race cars. Power from the 3.9-litre twin-turbo V8 is now at 50 horsepower from the GTB, making 710 horsepower. One of the most noticeable differences over the GTB is the large bonnet vent ducting air from the radiator. Maybe this is what the Alfarrari needs. The Pista also uses the GTE's diffuser, all helping to generate 20% more downforce than the GTB. The interior uses carbon fibre and Alcantara, along with the optional carbon fibre wheels made here in Australia, which all combine to reduce the overall weight by 90 kilos, less than the GTB. Later that same year, Ferrari released the Pista Spider. This convertible version uses the same drivetrain as the regular Pista, but according to Ferrari, actually weighs less. This makes the Pista Spider the first production road-going Ferrari convertible to actually be lighter than the coupe version.
All right, well, the engine is out, and I've got a lot of cutting and grinding and rearranging of things to do next week, which should be interesting. But I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that and getting it right.
Yeah.
As far as the heating goes, I think I'm going to order one big, large fan, and like I mentioned, do some ducts in the bonnet window, and hopefully that will be enough. We'll see what sort of space I have. Because it needs to cool at idle. Like it's one thing to be cooling when you've got airflow going through it, but I need it to actually cool with the bonnet closed, sitting there in traffic or whatever on a hot day.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Nobody wants to be in an overheating car.
No. It's not fun for anyone.
It's not fun for anyone. Like, subscribe, and sorry for the slurriness, still working through dental
issues.
problems.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, let Jeff know what you think, and if you want to see the videos a day early and help him out, Patreon is always an option, and you get to see the videos without ads a day early.
All right. See you next time,
guys. The 488.
No, 488 Pista.
The Pista. I knew there was something missing. Shh. Thinking, don't interrupt. Also uses the GTE's diffuser, all helping to generate 20% more air than the GTB. Damn it, downforce. This makes the Pista... Here, you didn't think I was going to do it, did you?
Yeah, neither did you.
No, I did not.